Hi, I'm Nicole Hemsoth. I'm the editor of Datnami, published by Tabor Communications. I'm joined today by Eyal Waldman, the CEO of Mellonox Technologies. Hi.
Hi, how are you doing?
And I'm also joined by the VP of Marketing for DDN, Jeff Denworth.
Hi, Nicole.
Hi. So the two of you have a rather interesting partnership. As HPC companies, everyone knows DDN and Mellonox separately. So how are you working together? What's the roadmap look like individually and then as a partner?
Well, DDN is a long-time customer of ours. What we do is when we provide storage companies such as DDN, both front-end and back-end interconnect, we provide them different building blocks. Sometimes it's just the silicon that they embed into their systems. Sometimes it's boards they plug into their systems and then switches. So what we provide storage companies is an interconnect solution for their back-end inside their box system, and then also for their front-end to where their clients connect to. And DDN is one of our leading storage companies or customers of this.
So on the flip side, the partnership goes back probably now, I think, somewhere in the range of about 7 or 8 years, where we were the first company to launch an InfiniBand-enabled storage platform. And since then, Mellonox technology really cuts across all the core leadership storage technology products that we offer, ranging from parallel file systems where you get native InfiniBand or RDMA support to even our object storage platform that we designed originally for cloud storage and social networking type companies that we offer I think it's a QDR interface for that today, so people can talk IP over IB.
I see. So what are some of the roadmap items here that you want to maybe talk about this week at supercomputing? Are there any big announcements coming from you? Or any news on the big data front, use cases?
Yeah, so the partnership with Mellonox actually gets quite interesting. And on display at the show, we have a few platforms. One we've announced, which is the 7700. It's a modular, very high-speed storage platform that we use for parallel file systems as well as big data analytics platforms. And so this is InfiniBand connected that works with our parallel file systems that are in turn equally InfiniBand connected. Maybe the more interesting one is actually an instance of Hadoop that we have running at the show today. And this is a high-scale Hadoop implementation that's been deployed on our storage with InfiniBand RDMA Fabric from Mellonox that really allows us to drive down the cost of computing substantially, first through offloading a lot of the storage activities into the SFA platform, which is the world's fastest storage system. Secondarily, through our partnership with Mellonox, we can do a lot of latency reduction across various MapReduce and Hadoop I/O processes so that our customers can see several times more performance per compute node than you could with just a normal kind of commodity implementation of Hadoop.
I see. You know, the topic of RDMA and big data / Hadoop, I think is maybe one of the underreported stories. Can you just describe briefly where the performance and efficiency boosts are there?
Yeah, basically, it's nearly everything we touch. We improve the performance in a significant way. And what we've seen is, we first started with our focus on supercomputers and high-performance computing. Now what we found out is that the same architecture lends itself in a great way into the Web 2 guys, into the cloud. I think you'll see some of the cloud guys appear more and more in the top 500 list, which is a testimony of the penetration of the same architecture, the same solution from HPC now into Web 2 and cloud, and that's something we're proud. You'll also see Mellonox start to kind of just actually expand the data center into a metro area network, not just within one building, but you'll see products from Mellonox that we just announced today, the Metro X, that will enable you, if you are outgrown your space in your own data center, now go a few miles to another building and still think or have the same capabilities as if it's connected into one room, one data center. So what we're doing is first taking the same solution, the same architecture, which includes RDMA and more features, from just the supercomputing into Web 2, cloud, big data solutions and systems, including storage. And then we're expanding this outside of just the one single room, one single data center into a metro area network, which is, I think, very exciting for some of our customers.
That's interesting. Every HPC vendor that I've talked to in the last 6 months says, well, let's focus on Hadoop performance. Hadoop isn't necessarily meant to run real time, despite the fact that there's some news about that right now from vendors like Cloudera. So How exactly do you plan on tackling the speed and performance issue of a problem that's essentially a software one with big data?
Oh, it's what happens. It's a simple. Every time, even if you do it offline or online, when you do it in real time or not, the time it takes you to map and come to a conclusion from the data that you have is very important. So the longer it takes you, the more cost it is. So what we do is just reduce the runtime. How do we do this? Is we shorten the time it takes to get data from one place to another place, share data, and process it and store it back to where it needs to be. So if you think of what's going on, data is growing exponentially, and thus DDN and storage companies will see more revenue and see growth in the future. But this exponential growth is unstoppable and unavoidable. People keep storing more stuff. There's a lot of data. If you want to do something with it and not just have it stored, you need to have ways to move it around, process it, and then store it again. And that's exactly what we do. So whether it's real time or non-real time, on or offline, they need us to improve the return on investment or the results, the infrastructure results that they get from their servers and from their storage systems.
And so I would say from our perspective, the job that Mellanox and DDN have are to build very efficient infrastructures that power anything from appliances to exascale platforms. And so, as I mentioned, we're running Hadoop in our booth today. It uses HDFS as the core storage foundation, and together we make that run much faster than anything else in the market. We could easily port that over to Cassandra or something like that and affect a real-time platform and continue to just drive whatever the state-of-the-art software technology is faster than you could with commodity.
Hadoop has definitely revolutionized storage, and I think some of the HPC and regular storage vendors have had to get creative in their messaging, not to mention their technology. Right?
So it's actually kind of interesting. I think that high-scale kind of shared nothing systems are built as a result of traditional enterprise storage platforms being both slow and expensive. And DDN is the largest provider of systems to the top 500 is always focused on driving down the cost of ownership and driving up the efficiency of platforms. So we're seeing kind of a pendulum shift back towards enterprise infrastructures for big data analytics and things like this as people start to recognize, well, I don't want to replicate my data 3 ways. I don't want to pass it over inefficient commodity networks. I want to get the most out of my processing. But more than all of that, it's really coming down to, as you cross the chasm, people are looking for simple appliances that can solve a business problem, and the technologists are becoming less relevant to the discussion.
Right, that's a good point. Both of you have mentioned the word appliance. So is that something that you're going to work together on in the future? Maybe a Hadoop-focused product, or would you see value for that in some of the demand and use cases that are emerging around big data?
I would say keep an eye out for things to come. And you can get a preview of what we're doing at the booth.
Okay.
And for us, we're a vendor, so we work with multiple companies and they build the appliances, so obviously we can't share what their plans are.
Okay. One last question. What's the hot area for that HPC big data bleed over that you guys are seeing? Is there one industry or application or use case that's representative of a big sea change?
Go ahead, you start.
So we have a bunch of use cases. In fact, we put out a few press releases throughout the last couple months, specifically around various deployments that we've done, in fact, with Mellonox, around big data analytics for largely HPC use cases. So 3 examples. One is there's a financial services database that's used across Wall Street. It's called KX, and we've managed to demonstrate performances about 500% better than even flash-based solutions by implementing high-speed networking with a real-time storage platform. The second would be, we're working a lot with the SAS Institute, actually with Mellonox's Ethernet products on high-scale data analytics, where they actually published a white paper saying this is the best runtime that they've ever seen. That application is actually for drug discovery, so they have a hosted service. And the third is some work that we've done with the intelligence community with the Vertica platform. Full InfiniBand SSDs end-to-end, which is becoming more and more topical, and InfiniBand's great for that because you can express the performance of SSDs faster than anything else. So there's a lot of intersections actually with HPC and big data computing.
And actually, what we're very excited about is seeing, the storage hierarchy move from just, like servers and then disk storage behind that. We're seeing now a hierarchy of storage, whether you put flash inside the servers, you put flash inside the storage outside the servers, then you put the disk behind that. And it really creates, in a lot of cases, the capability to migrate data closer to where you want to process it. And for that, again, the interconnect is a major thing. And again, I think the trend of storage becoming kind of the performance limiter for a lot of other algorithms, whether it's big data, whether it's cloud or other stuff, the storage innovation is something that's very clear in our roadmap moving forward to work with companies such as DDN to provide the best storage cost performance out there.
Well, it sounds like there are interesting things ahead for HPC, big data, and for you guys. So thank you so much for taking your time, Eyal and Jeff.
Thank you so much.
And thank you.
Thank you.